it's pretty much a known thing that usually lasting change or lasting results is always something that takes time to get. Yet we live in a culture that says, oh, wait, oh, there could be a faster way to do something. Maybe I can do that. That way I don't have to do it in the long road and I can quickly get my result.
All right, friends, we're back.
Hi.
And we have a great episode for you today. We are talking about like the quick fix because I think that there's so much attention right now on, GLP-1s, like lose weight, quick fixes.
Quick fix in health and health type stuff. Or are you saying
we're talking about it in health and in marriage because I feel like a lot of the times it translates because all we are ever doing is seeking and searching out the quick fix. And I think within marriage, it's like, oh, if I just have the one conversation with you and you respond in a certain way that I anticipate or hope for, then everything's going to be better.
Yeah.
And the reality is that just like health and just like marriage, everything takes time. It takes effort. It takes work. That's why they say to go in the gym and do the reps tear down the muscle, help it to build up. And then that's what's going to get you results. And I think that we can kind of take that same philosophy and put it towards marriage and helping us to remember that it's like we're not in this for the short term.
Yeah.
When we got married and when we said I do, 26, 27 years ago, it's like we were saying I do to forever.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of the times when marriage gets challenging and difficult, we forget that our vows were forever.
Yeah.
And we weren't looking for that quick fix or that quick moment when we first said I do. We were looking to put in the effort. It was okay for us to put in the effort because we saw the value behind it. So that's what we're going to be talking about.
Okay, let's go. Ready and willing.
And so I think a lot of the times what we do is we focus so much on the quick fix that we forget about the process of the transformation, right? So it's like all we're doing is looking at the before and after, and we're just like, we just want the after.
Well, yeah, because many times, don't you think that what we first initially desire isn't actually what we need to fix? Like, you quickly want, we initially want maybe a nicer body, or we want to get stronger, stuff like that. But going the route of the quick fix, there is something to be said about that because mostly everybody knows what it takes to be healthy. Eat good, move more, sleep well.
And drink your water.
And drink your water, right? But most people know that. And it's pretty much a known thing that usually lasting change or lasting results is always something that takes time to get. Yet we live in a culture that says, oh, wait, oh, there could be a faster way to do something. Maybe I can do that. That way I don't have to do it in the long road and I can quickly get my result. But it seems like many times we're almost chasing a feeling in reality. I'm chasing, because I know for me, like, you've always been the healthier one in our relationship, like this desire to be physically healthy. And so you've always kind of pursued that. And I, when I see you do it, I'm like, oh, maybe I should do it, but oftentimes what I'm trying to accomplish is more of I want to feel better about myself. I want to look better, but really the reasons why I'm not happy with myself really goes...
Because you're talking physically.
Yeah. Really goes a lot deeper than what I initially think, which is, oh, I just want I just want to look good.
Right.
Well, really, I just want to feel better about myself, which is a long, that's a hole that you can dig deep into really trying to figure out what that means.
Yeah. And I think that too, as we've kind of gotten a little bit older, things are changing. Our bodies don't respond the way that they used to. I think what's also happened is that our shift and our focus has, our focus has shifted into, more of like desiring strong and longevity over a certain like image of what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And I would say that for me, that's been a really hard transition to get to because I have a lot of body image issues and, things that have been like said and spoken over me for years and years to where it's like I've had undo a lot of those like lies and like a lot of the things that I've believed about myself, about my body and whatnot. And I would say in the last year, we've definitely had to walk through some like pretty intense seasons of like my body shifting. I'm entering into perimenopause. My hormones have been out of whack. My thyroid's crashed and burned. And I've had a lot of like health issues and deficiencies, which has caused me to gain a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So like, I also kind of want to touch on that too, because I think that, as we're talking about quick fixes and health and, all of these things, I think it's really important for, just our listeners to realize that it's like a lot of the times what's happening on the outside of our body can also be, a reflection of what's going on internally.
Absolutely.
And I know for me in the last year, I've experienced some extreme weight gain, which I'm not used to. And that caused us to have issues because I stopped wanting to expose my body. And I started kind of like pulling away from you, and I wasn't being completely honest and vulnerable with you about like my struggles. Like I would in certain senses, like you knew that I wasn't happy, but it's like you didn't know the like inner dialogue that was going. I remember going to you at one point and I was like, are you going to leave me?
Yeah.
Because I've gained so much weight.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, my weight is attached to my value and my worth. And so it's like, to me, I was like, oh, I'm no longer valuable in your eyes.
Yeah.
And I know that's been like a big thing in our marriage in the last year, and trying to navigate that is really hard. How did you kind of navigate that as like the spouse on the receiving end of like, those are pretty like big statements that were coming from me. Like, how did you process that?
Well, I mean, for one, it's you can't just say, "Oh, no, honey, I'm not thinking that." Like there's a follow-up to now understanding that there's more care to be done. There's more awareness that I need to be aware of, that there could be some lies and narratives happening in your head that you may not be vocalizing because you don't want to, or you feel ashamed of them. But it came as a shock to me because, after as long as we've been together, I mean, we've had those moments in our marriage where, in my immature years, I would say things to you that would indicate how you look drives how I not think of you, but drives me to like, hey, take care of yourself, like early in our marriage. And so what that brings back, you making a statement like that, brings that all the way forward for me to where in the early years of our marriage, when I said a particular statement, it remains real to you even now, especially when you are in the midst of struggling with how you feel about yourself, how you look about yourself, and then your perception of how I see it, which I can honestly say in our marriage now, I don't see that. So when you told me that, it really came as a shock because I'm like, I'm liking what's happening, kind of like this is okay. Like it's no big deal. Like, and so, but it gave me awareness of, okay, I need to be more cognizant of you're struggling just to change in front of me. You're struggling to, I usually, it's a little TMI for people, but I usually attack you when you're changing or
you like to be in the bathroom if I'm showering.
Yeah, it's a full on audience. I mean, it's whatever. But because I love you and I love your body, and since I know that, I assume you know that. But hearing that from you, it then triggered, oh, she doesn't know that. And I need to have some extra care to make sure that she knows that I truly love where you are and where you're going, and no matter what. So it helped me because I was carrying on like I normally do. It just it doesn't affect me. It is, it is what it is.
And I think what ended up, happening internally in me is that I was dealing with like an insecurity, and somewhere along the line, my insecurity turned to me looking for like rejection. And so it's like
trying to confirm the belief and narrative that you have. So you're looking for it. Yeah.
And so
which is a real thing for life and people. Like,
you're always, whatever your beliefs are, you're always looking to confirm them.
Absolutely. And you can
confirm anything.
You can make a good story out of what you're trying to make. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so what was happening internally is that it's like, I was feeling rejected because I was, in a sense, almost like rejecting myself because I didn't like what was happening, and it was out of my control. It wasn't.
So if you don't like it, nobody can.
Exactly.
Or nobody would. So
100%. And so if I don't feel valuable, why would anyone else want to be my friend, want to hang out with me? Are they embarrassed to be around me because I'm embarrassed to be around me?
Yep.
And so, and the only reason I bring all of this up is to recognize that if you have a spouse that really deals with some of these body image issues, they really do surface loudly within marriage, and it can cause that drift.
Absolutely.
because you don't gain weight overnight. It is a slow, like
Generally, it's a slow uptick.
Yeah. I mean, actually, mine was pretty fast and pretty intense, but it was also because I was dealing with other health issues. But it's also not like it was like one day I was a certain weight and then the next day I'm like 25 pounds heavier. It was over 2.5 months that I gained that weight, which is very fast. Very fast. But typically it is that slow creeping up. And what happens is you start feeling, oh, my clothes are getting a little bit tighter. Oh, this doesn't fit me like it used to. And then, oh, well, I'm noticing my weight gain, so other people must be noticing my weight gain. Or are they saying this and this and this about me? And then all of a sudden you're so self-consumed with the outside that you forget about nurturing your inside, and you forget to even invite your spouse into it because you've created the narrative that how you feel, so your spouse must feel the same way. So now you don't even want to talk to your spouse about it because if you're feeling that way, he must be feeling that way too. And all of a sudden now you've drifted away from intimacy. You're not changing in front of each other. You're not, being ultra lovey-dovey. Like if you put your hand around my waist, oh my gosh, is he feeling a roll? All of those types of things, into where it's like all of a sudden this is putting a wedge in your marriage and in your intimacy. You're not showing up. You're not communicating because you feel embarrassed. Like everything around this is, in a sense, embarrassing. And so,
well, this is really important for the other spouse to recognize this, because had you not communicated to me some of the struggles that you were having
right.
that I didn't realize, like I knew, because you're my wife, I know that there's certain dynamics of your health and how you feel that where you are is always a journey that you're taking.
Right.
But when it becomes either extreme or maybe a little bit different, and you are trying to battle this on your own, many times, see, there was a realization. You were talking about clothes or getting too tight, and then it's just you're kind of running out of clothes. And I remember feeling so, because I didn't consider that. I didn't consider having to deal with every single day you're confronted with, I'm not where I want to be.
Right.
There, like, no respite from that. There was no rest from that. And I can only imagine if you're in a relationship and, like you said, you don't want to talk about it, but how lonely that can feel because you are just trying to deal with this on your own. And for the other spouse, I want the other spouses to hear what you're saying, because it could be the guy that's having these problems. It could either way. But to understand that they are isolated, they are by themselves trying to figure this out. And a lot of times the shame of it, or the and there shouldn't be shame, but shame comes up. It shouldn't be there, but it is.
Right.
And these other feelings that keep you from exposing yourself emotionally, should I say, to your spouse, it turns to isolation. And, maybe the other spouse is like, well, just give them space. They're just kind of working through something. If they want to talk to me, they will.
Right.
And then, I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to make him or her feel bad. So you can see how easily there's this road of just division, and it's all because of not feeling well, or your health, or how you're feeling. And it's just a very, very, dangerous is too extreme, but it's dangerous emotionally, because you can be going down a long road that's very difficult to recover from.
It's a very deep well. And one thing that you touched on that I do want to bring up is that this isn't just a wife issue.
No.
Like, the husband could be dealing with these types of things, and the wife could be actually heaping shame on them for not taking care of themselves, or vice versa.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
And those types of things happen as well. So it's like, I also want to encourage our listeners to have these conversations, share this episode with your spouse, because usually one spouse, if they're struggling in this, one spouse wants to talk about it and the other one doesn't.
Very much. Yep.
And it could be either way. It could be like, oh, I'm the one that's having the weight gain, and I want to share it with you, but I don't trust you with it. Because just like the quick fix that we're talking about, like, it's like we just want our marriage to be miraculously better. It's like the quick fix also, it's like, I can't just all of a sudden just immediately trust you.
Yeah.
It's like, I have to build up those baby steps of trust, of intimacy, of protection, feeling like I can be safe and trust you with my heart and with these really deep places. Because at least just for me, this was a really deep wound that started back when I was a child.
Absolutely.
And so this particular issue has been very challenging for me my entire life. So in order for me to trust you with it, I have to open myself up emotionally, but then also I'm already feeling exposed physically. And so now it's like, I'm just like
completely out there.
Here's my heart on a
Here's
plate.
everything.
Yes.
But in this particular season that you're going through, many people may be experiencing the weight part. But there's also another part that you were experiencing was you weren't feeling well. So there's a health part and then there's a weight part. Though they're connected, sometimes they can be something separate. You had both. And so now not only do you have to deal with the emotional turmoil of navigating your feelings around the weight and your whole life story of dealing with body issues. Now you just don't physically feel well because your insides are all jacked up. It's all over the place. That alone makes you even weaker in being able to communicate, being able to handle things, being able to want to talk, being able to, for me, it was very indicative is when you didn't want to talk. And that's just it's not who my wife is generally. And it's also something for us as couples to remember that many times, even if not weight, even just health, and you're not feeling well and you're just down, it's difficult to be happy and joyful in the midst of a conversation. So you have to come with grace to the conversation that you can't be like, why'd you talk to me like that? Because when you're not feeling well, there's very little energy to do anything but just show up and try. And so it's something really, I think, really important too. You had both, still are dealing with it, but that's a real thing as well for couples.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say go find a good doctor, because the doctors that I was going to were just like, oh, honey, it's just, you're fine. You're in normal range.
Yeah, you're breathing and there's no emergency.
And they're like, just reduce your stress.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, now I'm stressed because I'm trying to reduce the stress.
Yeah.
And so it was, I wasn't like fueling myself right. I wasn't sleeping, which I'm still having in and out of issues of. And my mood swings were crazy because my hormones were completely out of whack. So it's like the biggest sign for me was when it's like, I was telling you that it's like, I don't feel like myself.
Yep.
This isn't me. And if I would have known that phrase would have equaled what the doctor finally did, a functional doctor actually told me, it would have helped me go to the doctor way before, because that simple phrase, like if you're listening and if you're just like, I just don't feel like myself,
there's your
go
ding, ding,
get
ding. Yep.
a real doctor that's willing to go into your blood work and really find out what's happening, because there is likely an underlying cause, and there's supplements, there's medication, there's things that can help you.
Can right size you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so this is not urgent care. We're not saying, hey, go to your urgent care doctor. This is, like you were saying, a functional doctor and they're specialized in concentrating on really
finding the root cause.
Yeah, but really prioritizing and making you, Heather Brown or whoever.
Oh, optimized.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not looking for a general span in your blood work. They're looking, how can I get you optimized and feeling the best?
Yeah.
And
that's important.
And honestly, that has literally changed me. There were days where it's like I was struggling to even get out of bed. And now it's like I can get out of bed. My energy is not what it used to be, but it's still way better than what it was.
See, now, okay, take that feeling. It's hopeless. I just want to feel better. And you have two choices. Get it done quick or go down the long road. Now, what are you always going to go for?
I want the quick.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the world we live in.
Yes.
We literally live in this world of, I literally just I don't feel good and I want to feel better, or I want to get to my goal quicker. So let's do the quick thing. Now, I don't think we should totally throw out the quick thing, because someone could do the quick fix and just really I
Yeah.
mean, really stick to it and go for it and end up being a long-term thing that they do. They went for the quick fix, but it changed their whole of how their whole health journey, and then they ended up doing a longer journey, which ended up good. For the most part, though, when you are going for the quick fix, generally you, you're wanting to change something internal that is coming external, and generally the better way to do that is a slow, incremental, good plan and
Well,
good results.
and in full transparency, like health wise, I did do the quick fix.
Yeah.
Like I was struggling with my weight. I was like, oh, there's all this like hype on a GLP-1. And I did my research. I was like, oh, I'm going to do this. I felt like it was the right thing for me to do at the time. But what I didn't take into consideration is why my body wasn't able to lose weight in the first place when I was doing the right things. So then I got on the GLP-1 and I got on it in 2 different phases. And the last time that I got off of it, which was just in October, from October to December, I got off it at the end of October. And from October to December, I had rebound weight gained 20 pounds. And then in January, I had gained another 5. So total, after getting off of my GLP-1, I had gained 25 pounds. Now I'm heavier than before I even started the GLP-1 in the first place. But what the quick fix didn't take into consideration was what was happening internally prior that wasn't allowing me to lose weight. Now let's take that and put it towards marriage. It's like if I'm just wanting to have that quick conversation or that quick fix or just do a couple of therapy sessions and hope that it's just better. It's like, oh, I feel better. It's just an emotional high. But did we actually fix the underlying issue? And now, health-wise, I'm talking to my doctor and I'm saying, should I microdose a GLP-1? And she was like, you can, but it's not gonna get you to where you want to be. You would have to do a macro dose. And I'm like, but I don't want to do that. And I'm like, what's the right course? And she was like, you have to just stay the course. She was like, this is a long road to get you optimized, not just to get you back where you want to be. And she was like, I want you, we have a plan of what we're fixing first. And we have to go in order or we don't get the results that we're looking for.
It's like it's cotton candy results. Spray some water on that
Exactly.
and they fall apart.
It just dissipates.
Again, that's not to say that people haven't been successful with a GLP-1 and all those things.
I'm actually a fan of a GLP-1 in the right circumstances.
In the right circumstances,
if you are exercising, if you are getting all of your protein in, which is hard because you don't feel like eating,
right,
but you can get your protein in. There are plans, there are ways to do it, and you may not get the huge results that you're looking for on the GLP-1, and it will be a little bit steadier, but you're going to feel better.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be like feeling good and you're going to feel accomplished because you're also taking care of yourself. So you're using it as a tool, not the only remedy. So I'm actually a fan of GLP-1s and I'm a fan of therapy. I'm a fan of having hard conversations. I'm a fan of showing up in your marriage. I'm a fan of date nights. I'm a fan of all of these things. But what we don't recognize and what we're not like realizing in life is that those things help, but they help slowly over time. And that's the thing that I think that we're kind of missing with this GLP-1. It's like we all just want to lose 40 pounds within, 6 weeks. And you can on a GLP-1, but what's happening to your body and what's happening to, your metabolism and, your thyroid health, like those eating 500 calories, like there were days where I was eating 400 to maybe 600 calories a day.
Yep.
And that has lasting effects.
Yeah.
And I am sitting here today saying, if I would have recognized and if I knew what I knew today, I wouldn't have done it the way that I did it. I'm I'm not saying that I wouldn't have done a GLP-1, but I would have done it differently.
Absolutely.
And that's where.
So that when you get to the end, you would have foundational things in place
Yes.
that will support the health going forward. Generally, for a lot of it, quick fixes in any scenario, it doesn't even need to be health. Quick fixes, like you were saying, relational quick fixes, all this thing. We're chasing the emotional high. That's what we're chasing. We're chasing the win because we just want to win. I just want the therapist to tell her, you're wrong, I'm right. I just want to feel. And so, hey, I lost 5 pounds. There's my emotional win. And so we go for that because we're trying to relieve something internally on the outside. So yes, there are physical things that are a reality. And especially when your health is failing in the sense where you don't feel yourself, you're just looking, I just need a win. I need to start feeling better. Though that's a little different than chasing like an emotional high or something like that. But a lot of the times that's what a quick fix is accomplishing, because I just need to feel better about myself. I need to feel that I'm good. I need to feel that I'm winning. And those things aren't bad things. The problem is that when done in the quick fix type fashion, the quick fix in itself is designed not to stand tall long term.
Right.
It's made to, quick start. It's a quick start. Now, if you can turn that into sustainable wellness, great.
And I think some people can.
Absolutely, they can. I'm impressed when they can, because
I'm like,
not only
so tell me what you did.
Yeah, because I want to know your quick fix that you've been on it for years. That's great.
It's rare.
But it's rare. We're talking, we could be 90-10, 80-20 here, where most of the quick fix does not turn out like that.
And it doesn't lead to transformation most of the time.
Correct.
It's not like, it's like in health coaching and that kind of stuff, we would always talk about, what is sustainable, let's transform your life. Let's transform your habits. That's why they always say that it's like, habit stack and, create small little steps that you can do every day. And that's doable and that's actionable. And, same with marriage. It's like, what can you do every day to show up for your spouse? Because I think what's happening when we're looking for those quick fixes is it's very selfish. It's what can make me feel better, when really in marriage, it should be all about, like, if we're both caring about each other, and if I'm going, okay, how are you doing? How can I nurture and care for you? And you're doing the same. It's like both of our needs get met with us being like focused on the other and not selfish.
Yeah.
The most unselfish thing that I've ever done is be married and have kids, because it's like everything gets turned like inward. And when I go inward, it's like everything around me starts to crumble.
Absolutely.
Because it's like it's got to be, I have to put my eyes either on you, on the Lord always, on the kids. I have to be thinking of everyone else other than myself, because otherwise it bogs me down. And it feels as though it's like, that's when I start seeing what I'm lacking instead of the things that I do have. And I'm not leading with gratitude. There's so many things that are affected when I'm inward focused.
Absolutely. Yep.
And that's where it's like, when we're talking about body image within marriage, it's like it does become very inward focused. It's like, it's me, my body, my emotions, and everything starts feeling like I am the center of attention, when really nothing changed for you. It only changed for me. And now I'm the center of everything, when you're like, well, no, nothing's changed. Everything's great.
Right.
The cup size is just a little fuller. But it's true.
That's true. That is true.
So it's like, I think that also just normalizing bodies shifting and changing within marriage, I think also just needs to be a standard culture
Yeah.
within our marriage life. It's like, gosh, like I'm getting close to 50 years old. It's like,
And you're looking good.
I look at, like, I remember when my parents were like getting close to 50, I was just like, oh my gosh, they're so old. And it's like now we're entering into that phase.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh gosh, like, am I that old?
Well, and we've talked about this before where we're getting to the age and maturity. We're still maturing. We still mature as adults.
Always.
That we want to be around for a while.
Longevity.
And
Yep.
but not only just because we want to, stay alive, but from a faith perspective, we've talked about this before where we want to be strong and capable to do what we believe God has called us to do. And so
Yeah.
how we live our lives as it's related to health and wellness,
Mhm.
that's important because it directly affects how effective I am and how able I am to do the thing that God calls me to do. Obviously, God is the one that makes the things happen. That's good. But if I'm not willing and able to be out and do the things that I feel that I should be doing or that I want to be doing for the Lord, then now that just breaks down all because I am choosing to not take care of myself. And we can't understate that how you feel, your health, how you're not feeling well directly connects to how you relate. Because
Mhm.
when you're just not feeling good and you're not feeling yourself, you almost have an inability to relate well, even to the people that you love,
Yeah.
even to the people that is your person. It's very difficult to show up, even if you intend to show up in your marriage when you aren't feeling well. And so it really is an encouragement to, one, start taking care of yourself,
Mhm.
start taking steps today. Don't take the quick fix. You know what to do. Eat the things, drink the water. Move more, get some sleep, and start getting your body in a place, especially
And get a good doctor.
and get a good doctor, not an emergency room doctor, but a functional doctor that was going to optimize your way of living.
Mhm.
But also thinking about, again, going back to the faith perspective, our bodies, the Bible says our bodies are our temple. They're a temple for the Holy Spirit. And so there's this idea, there's this principle in Scripture that says, treat your body as it is a temple for the Holy Spirit. So when you're wanting to and desire to do the things that the Lord has called you to do, you need to treat where He's housed well
Mhm.
so that He can operate in there. Because the way of the world is quick fix, do, but, dun, dun. Bible says don't be conformed to the world. So don't do those things. And then, so the Bible says that 1,000 years ago. We're talking right now about the quick fix. There's a reason why even the Bible talks about that long ago is there is a right way to do things.
Mhm.
It doesn't look the right way to most people, but there is a right way to go about it. And even when we're talking about health, there is a right and sustainable path that will bring you closer to your optimized self.
That's why the word says that everything is permissible. We can do whatever we
You
want
can.
to do, but not everything is beneficial.
That's correct.
And
Yep.
I was just reading about, the body being a temple this
Yep.
week, and it was just really interesting because I was reminded about the care and the precision of the temple and how it was always clean, it was magnificent, it was kept up. The measurements of how everything was
Absolutely.
constructed were so perfect.
Mhm.
And it's like, and I think of too of our bodies. It's like there is a system and an order to health
Absolutely.
that it's like we need to be paying attention to, because it's like our bodies are a temple.
Absolutely.
And we should be honoring them in that way.
Absolutely.
And so it's like health just is, it's not about aesthetics. It's really about, stewardship and being really good at, owning your health journey.
Yes.
With balance and moderation and rhythm.
Yep.
We always hate the word balance, because we always think of like a balance beam and how it's like, a balance. If you're balancing on something, it's like you can easily teeter off.
So if you're not balanced, that means you're unbalanced.
Right.
So now
what?
You always have to be perfect.
Right. And so it doesn't really allow for there to be like movement. So we always say that it's like the rhythm, because it's like, you just need to find the rhythm. You need to find that flow, because it's going to be constantly moving and it's going to like rise and fall all the time. But it doesn't mean that you're bad or that you've like failed.
Everybody's life, everybody's circumstances, everybody's world is different. That's why rhythm works, because it works in your world and you find that rhythm. We can't make that for you, nor should we make that for you, nor should anybody else. You find it, you know the path to take, make those things work in your world.
Yeah, I love that. So really, I mean, honestly, when we show up in our marriage and when we're feeling good, that's when our marriage ends up being turned into a new and different lightness, right? And so it's like, that's really why we're talking about health, and that's why we're talking about the quick fixes. We're talking about all of these things because it really does yield to you. When you feel good, you show up and you're better in your marriage, you're better at your job, you're better at relationships and having conversations. You're just more grace-filled. And that's why this is such a big pillar, I believe, in marriage.
And one of the principles that we always want to push forward is if you and your spouse are going through this right now, whether it be health, whether it be circumstantial, whatever the case may be, and you may feel helpless, you may feel like you're by yourself, don't lose hope, because it's a season. It very well that you could be in the rhythm of this being more difficult than it has been in the past. Don't give up. Keep going. Have those honest conversations with your spouse, filled with compassion, filled with grace, and really giving each other the room to experience what's happening in that moment. But do not accept shame. Grab onto confidence and be encouraged in the journey that you're on.
Yeah. And honestly, this is something that I'm very passionate about. I am so in love with taking care of our bodies, being a good steward of what God has given us. And so if this episode just really hit home for you, don't worry, because there's something really exciting coming up.
Oh, yeah.
On May 4th, I'm actually launching a health and wellness podcast called Imperfectly Fit and Fed.
I love it. Love that name.
And so what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be releasing 2 episodes a week on Monday and Friday. And one is going to be about, just education and little tips and tricks that you can do to kind of get you closer to that health. And then on Friday, we're going to do a little bit of more of like a faith-based encouragement, to kind of just keep at it and keep hitting your goals and keep striving towards health and wellness. And so really this is for women, mostly in perimenopause and older. And if you're dealing with hormones, if you're dealing with body changes, real life situations and health issues, we're going to be focusing on, really healthy rhythms. We're going to be talking about carb cycling. We're going to be talking about, getting yourself checked out by a functional medicine doctor. We're going to be talking about, getting your water, having manageable workouts, and all of those types of things. So if that's something that you're interested in, coming May 3rd, it's Imperfectly Fed and Fit, and we can hang out more. And so if you're interested in that, make sure to follow, like, share, do all the things. And
what's the date again? I heard two, May 4th and May 3rd.
Just kidding. It's just May 4th.
Okay.
It's just May 4th.
Okay. I just want to.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
I'm excited to help women find just a healthy rhythm to health and wellness. So stay tuned for that. We're excited. And and go be your best version of yourself. And here's my last quote. Quick fixes might change your reflection for a moment, but consistency is what transforms your life and your marriage.
How can we not end on that note? Keep showing up for each other. See you next time.
Bye, guys.